Hey guys, this is your host Nakasha, Mental Health Consultant. This channel is all about mental health. So I'm going to be giving you guys tips and ideas on how you can begin improving your mental health in order to start feeling the way you want, having the relationships you want, and just kind of basically having the sort of life you want overall. In this particular video, we're going to talk about how your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior, your actions are all connected, and how they can help you towards getting the things that you want, feeling the way you want, or they can actually prevent you from getting the things you want or feeling the way you want. Now, this video is specifically for kids and teens. So if you're an adult who's happened upon this video and you're looking for strategies for yourself, so not for your child, but for you, please take a look through my channel because I have an adult version of this video, and that is the CBT intro video. So when we go through life, we all have different things that we face. We're gonna have big things, small things, but we're gonna have things that we see as problems, things that make us angry, sad, happy, things that affect our emotions in different ways. And this is all normal. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel happy. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel frustrated, annoyed. These are all normal things that happen. You may even find in a single day, you can have a whole bunch of different emotions. Even in a single hour, you may feel a lot of different things. And it's very normal for us as humans to feel different things. That part is okay. What we want to get help on is to be able to feel happy more often than we don't. So if you find that you're feeling worried a lot, sad a lot, angry a lot, maybe fearful a lot, different things like that, then we want to kind of start looking at how we can start getting greater control over those emotions, how we can start to feel better when we're feeling down, how we can basically pick ourselves up. Now, things in life happen to all of us. The things that happen to us are actually neither good nor are they bad. What happens is when something happens to us, we have certain thoughts about it. So it can help if we think about glasses. If I go outside and I'm wearing these glasses, chances are things are gonna look a lot darker, right? I'm not gonna see the sun as brightly. Everything's just gonna have a much darker filter. Now, if I have these glasses on, I might be able to see the sun more. I may be able to see things more clearly, but I'm gonna see things very differently than I did when I had the sunglasses on. Now, there are a lot of different things that can affect how we feel. It could be, if we're tired, if we're hungry, if we recently just experienced a pretty big loss, if we've been feeling really worried, anxious for a long time, if we've been feeling really down and depressed, different things like that will affect how we feel, and it's going to affect the glasses we're wearing when we go outside. So now when something happens, like I mentioned, we have certain thoughts. We may even have certain pictures that go through our mind as far as how we understand what just happened to us. Now, these thoughts are the things that we tell ourselves to help us understand what just happened. We can have a whole lot of different thoughts going on and a whole lot of different pictures going on in our mind in terms of how we understand the situation. Now, when we have these thoughts, it's going to affect how we then feel. And again, we can have lots of emotions. Now, based on how we feel, that's going to decide how we behave in the situation. So if something happens to me where I feel angry, chances are I'm going to behave in a way that's not very nice. Now, if something happens to me where I feel happy, it's likely I'm going to want to behave in a way that's fairly nice, right? So our thoughts affect our emotions affect our actions. Now, a way to think about that is picture a triangle. In the center, we have what happened. Right above it, we have our thoughts. That then leads into our feelings, and then that leads into our behaviors or our actions. Now, when we have a certain thought, it's more so an explanation or an idea to help us understand what happened. We're more so taking a guess about why something happened, but it's not actually a fact and it's not real proof. So that means that our thoughts aren't always going to be true. They're not always going to be accurate to the situation. But if we're able to look at some other possible explanations for what happened, it might actually help us to feel better, and it can also help us to behave in a way that we'll be more happy with long term, in a way that's a bit more helpful to us long term. So let's say, for instance, I'm in class and the teacher says to the class, okay, everybody, I want you guys to pick partners to work on this project. And let's say I've got two friends in the class and they pick each other. Now that is what happened. Now from there, I'm gonna have thoughts about the situation. So let's say I then think, my friends don't like me. That's why they didn't pick me. No one ever picks me. No one likes me. I don't have any real friends. I feel like I don't ever fit in, or no one wants to work with me because they think I'm dumb. I can have a range of different thoughts based on this one thing that happened, right? Now, if I'm having those thoughts, what am I likely to feel? I'm likely to feel angry or sad or frustrated or hurt or any of those things, right? Now, if I feel that way, it's likely going to lead to actions that are based on how I'm feeling. So I may then begin to ignore my friends, or I may then decide I'm not going to be nice to them, or I may decide that, yeah, like I'm just not going to be friends with them anymore. So I'm not going to invite them to things. Or I may even decide that because I'm so afraid of not having friends because I believe they don't like me, I'm going to do a lot of really nice things to win my friends back. So those are now my actions. So do you kind of see how my thoughts from the event then influence my feelings and then my behavior? So let's say I decide to think about things differently. What are some other possible explanations for what's going on? Is it possible that in the previous project, one of my friends worked with me and the other one was left out, so that now they wanted an opportunity to work with each other? Or is it possible that one friend just happened to ask the other before I got to them? Is it possible that one of them is just really good at that particular sort of assignment, and so the other asked him or her just because they're really good at the assignment, not because they think I'm not smart? Is it possible that they just chose each other because they're sitting more closely to each other? What are some possible things that might be going on? So let's say I consider that maybe in the previous assignment, they didn't get to work together, and that's why they chose each other. Is it gonna bother me now that they chose each other in this assignment? Probably not. If it's because they were sitting more closely to each other, so it's easier for them to ask one another, is that possibility gonna bother me? Probably not. If it could be because one is just really good at the assignment, and so the other wanted to ask him or her because they're really good on that particular subject, and not because they think I'm dumb, is that gonna bother me? Probably not. Actually, I could probably relate to that line of thinking. If my friend is really good at art, and my other friend is more so good at math, and this is an art project, I'm more likely gonna be quick to ask the friend that's good at art to partner with me, right? So I'm probably not gonna be upset about it. So let's break it down to different actions I may choose based on my new feelings, based on my thoughts about the other possible explanations for what could be going on. Now, I could ask my friends if they're upset with me, if I'm really so curious about if they could be. You know, if I'm not really taking it personally, I may not even say anything to them about it. I may just continue being friends with them like we've always been and still have the same sort of interactions I've always had with them. If I'm thinking that maybe they chose each other because they haven't worked together on an assignment yet, I may then decide, hey, let me find someone that I haven't worked with on something yet and get to know one of my classmates in a different way, or build a new relationship through this project that we're having to do. So there's so many different ways that I can now respond based on what I'm thinking might be going on. Now, to help us really consider possible alternatives, it can be helpful if we're aware of certain types of unhelpful thinking we might be using. Now, there are categories for this, and there's categories because as human beings, we all do it, right? If you're using these thought categories, please don't feel badly about it. There's nothing wrong with you. You're basically a human being. We all use unhelpful thoughts. We use it in different situations more than others. We use some categories more than others because we're all so different. We're all so unique. But the idea is that if we're aware of these unhelpful thoughts, we can start to change them. That way we can get the kind of life we want, we can get the experiences we want, and we can just start feeling better. So the first unhelpful thought category is called ignoring the good. And that's basically how it sounds. It's when we pay more attention to the bad things than the good things. So picture I do a school play. I remembered all of my lines except for one scene. And so because I forgot my lines in that one scene, I start to think I performed terribly in the play. So the second thought category is called blowing things up. And that one also is exactly as it sounds. So that's basically when something happens and I make something small out to be something huge, or I make something that isn't a good situation seem like the worst possible thing. I start to picture the worst possible outcome. So let's say I have a falling out with my friends at school. I then think my social life is ruined. My life is over. So basically, the falling out with my friend has led me to believe I no longer am gonna have a social life, and in fact, my entire life is over. So the next thought category is called fortune telling. That's when I believe I can predict the future. I can predict that something is going to happen and that something is bad. So for instance, let's say for gym class, teams are going to be picked. And then I think in my mind, I am going to be the last person picked. No one is going to want me on their team. The next category is mind reading. So that is when you believe that you know what someone else is thinking or why they're doing the things that they're doing without enough information or enough evidence. So let's say, for instance, I asked out this cute boy in school or a cute classmate and he said no. And then I start to think he must have said no because I'm ugly. Another category is negative labeling. When you have a belief about yourself that you think applies to everything you do. So for instance, let's say the thought is, I'm a loser, I'm not good at anything, I don't have any talents, there's just nothing I'm good at. Setting the bar too high. That's when you think that you have to be good at everything or you're no good at all. So let's say I'm on a sports team and I start to think I have to score points in every game, otherwise I'm worthless on this team. Self-blaming is when you blame yourself for anything that goes wrong, even if you didn't actually have control over it, even if there's no proof that you may have actually had anything to do with it. So for instance, my friend Chanel didn't say hi to me today. I must have done something to upset her. Feelings as facts. When you believe that because you feel something, it must be true. So let's say, for instance, I believe that I'm not exactly like all the other kids. Then I start to think I must be a social outcast and I'll never fit in and I'll never have friends. Then there are the should statements. When you believe that things should be a certain way. So for instance, I believe that life should always be fair. If I do the right thing, only good things should happen to me. So guys, think about those categories and ask yourself, have I ever found myself using any of these? Have I ever found myself thinking in any of these ways? Now guys, I'd love for you to actually write down any experiences you have trying this out, practicing this, right? Write it down in a journal, on your tablet, on your phone. Explore any stressful situations or just any difficult negative moods you have and just kind of comment below. Let me know what your experience was after trying this. Let me know if you felt better, if it helps you to make choices that you're happier with, if it's helping you to see things differently, if it's helping you with choosing actions that are going to actually help out your relationships. I really want to know about your experiences, so please post it below. I'm so excited to read it, and I'll be happy to respond as soon as I can. Another thing, guys, I'm always looking for ideas for upcoming videos. So if you have anything you want to know more about, any topic you want me to just really talk to you guys about, please post that below too, because I will be happy to make a video about it. Okay guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting the thumbs up icon. Also be sure to subscribe and to turn your notifications on using the bell icon. That way you're informed anytime new videos are released. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and I will catch you at the next video.